this last tip, you take one thing from this video, just do this. It makes your life so much easier. Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel because I do tips, tricks, all of that good stuff pretty much all the time, so subscribe. Today, highly requested video, my best of the best, my top, my number one, top tier, my best tips, tricks, hacks, everything that I have. I do want to get right into it. Don't want to waste your time, so let's go. Tip number one. This is an easy one, and I think pretty much everyone should use it if you work out, if you have protein shakes in general. It's really easy to add in. So basically, if you have any sort of protein shake, any sort of smoothie, anything like that throughout the day, I want you to use the timing to your advantage. What I mean by that, if you are trying to lose weight, so you're trying to get full on less calories, what I recommend then is that you put your protein shake, smoothie, whatever it is, about 30 minutes before a meal. That way, at that meal, you'll eat a little bit less. So if dinner is typically your biggest meal, try to have a protein shake about 30 minutes before, especially if you're gonna have the protein shake anyway. You will likely end up eating less at that meal. Boom, it did its job. If you are trying to gain weight on the other end of the spectrum, have your protein shake with or after your meal. The goal is to get as many calories in as you can, so you wanna make sure that your liquid calories are not taking away from your meals like it would if you wanted to lose fat. Tip number two, use a calendar. And this is probably one of the easiest but best ways to visualize your progress. This is especially important if you're someone that gets like emotional over your progress. You're someone that like feels like if you mess up, like your whole day is ruined and you kind of go into that spiral mindset. What I want you to do is set up a calendar. So this can be on your fridge, this can be in a planner, it can be anywhere, but you're gonna set up a calendar. You're gonna have 2 or 3 things that are your main goals, and you're gonna put a check mark for each. So like say it was you worked out, you hit your macros that day, and you drank all your water. So you would have 3 different color check marks. Every time that you work out, check mark goes on that day. You hit your water that day too, cool, another check mark. You hit all 3, awesome. Then what happens is you mess up. We all mess up. Nobody's really perfect. So when we do mess up, you can go ahead and look at the rest of your calendar and see all the times that you didn't mess up. And that can kind of help bring you back down, freak out a little bit less, and then you don't have to derail everything you've done just because you messed up for one day. This is also really good for anybody that you're really not sure how compliant you are. So if you're like, I think I'm doing really well, but my plan's not working, do a calendar method. You may not be being as compliant as you think you are. A good rule of thumb, 80 to 90% compliance on any given plan is gonna put you in a pretty good spot. Number 3, this is something that took me too long to figure out about myself. Decide how much convenience is necessary for you and stick with it and accept it and get over it. So for me, I need a massive amount of convenience. I'm just that type of person, and that's okay. I am not the person that spends my entire Sunday in my kitchen with 600 different little containers in front of me, carefully curating and weighing out each individual meal for the week. I'm just not, and that's okay. So while I may not prep each individual meal, I will maybe prep like a bunch of protein, and I can kind of stick that in whatever I'm eating. Or I'll go out to eat. Like I will go get a $12 salad, or I will go get a poke bowl, and I will go pay for that convenience. But you have to remember, if you're eating healthy and you're eating out, it gets expensive. So you can kind of weigh those options. If you're dead set on like saving money and budgeting and all of that, and that's super cool, totally meal prep everything, 100%. But if you're not going to do that, in certain situations, some level of convenience is going to be necessary, especially if you're super busy. It's best to figure that out before you dive into a plan that you're not going to be able to sustain. Side note, kind of what I said earlier, bulk prepping versus meal prepping. Meal prepping is going to be literally making individual meals. What I recommend to a lot of my clients that are a little bit busier, you have kids, whatever it is to bulk prep instead. Bulk prepping is essentially you make 2 or 3 proteins, 2 or 3 vegetables, 2 or 3 carbs, and you just mix them in a bunch of different ways all week. So you don't necessarily have to be in the mood for the same thing every single day. Add different spices, sauces, whatever it is, and you can make a bunch of different meals with no more food than you would have used to meal prep anyway. And you can also kind of weigh it out to your needs for whatever, how hungry you are, your macros, whatever it is. I find that people have a lot more success with that, so that might be something you want to try. This is a good one. I want you to add volume to the meals that don't really align with your goals. So like for me, for example, I love mac and cheese. I'm never gonna not eat mac and cheese, and I've accepted that about myself. But I can't be eating mac and cheese for every single meal. It doesn't align with my goals. I have things I wanna do. It doesn't work. However, if I take mac and cheese and I mix in a bunch of broccoli or a bunch of veggies, all of a sudden a serving, like the same size, is about half the calories because there's so much broccoli in there. And the broccoli is cheesy and good and awesome, and it doesn't really take away from the meal at all, but I can also eat a fair amount rather than just a super small portion, and I can still reach my goals that way. If you really like something that's a little bit more indulgent, start looking at how you can make a serving a little bit bigger with things that don't cost a lot of calories. So veggies, substitutes, different things like that. I mean, you still want to enjoy it. You don't want to completely defeat the purpose, but if you can add in a bunch of veggies to something that you really, really like, it's probably going to go a lot better than trying to avoid all the foods you like all the time. This last tip, you take one thing from this video, just do this. It makes your life so much easier. I have every single one of my clients do this. Let's go. I want you to make a success list. And this is going to be completely individual to you, and it's going to require you to pay attention. What this basically means is things that work specifically for you and your lifestyle. So for example, if you find that during the school year you have kids, you eat 2 eggs for breakfast, and when you eat those 2 eggs for breakfast, rather than skipping breakfast altogether, you don't tend to overeat at night. That goes on your success list. Then if you find that going to the gym in the morning is something that works better within your schedule and you're more likely to actually go in the morning, that goes on your success list. If you find that a certain dinner keeps you really full, if you find that a certain workout style makes you a little bit more consistent and actually going, whatever it is, write it down. And this is gonna be like your success map. Basically what this is going to do is give you a template to refer to. So you know when you do X, Y, and Z that you are in a really good spot. And it's almost more important to pay attention when things are going really, really well. And we tend not to. We can tend to kind of be like, okay, things are going great. Like I'm good. But kind of take a look around when things are going really well. What do your meals look like? What's the timing of the meals look like? What do your workouts look like? How's your sleep? What does your daily schedule kind of layout look like? Take note of all of these different things, because then when things kind of start sliding backwards a little bit, or things maybe aren't going as well, then you can always refer back to this list and be like, okay, oh, I'm not doing this anymore. I like stopped working out in the morning. Oh, like I keep skipping breakfast. That's why I'm overeating at night. Like I wrote that down. Like that is going to give you so much information about yourself. And if you can build out this list, like even certain groceries, like for my list, I have like pre-cooked protein. Like I'll pay for protein to be pre-cooked because I know I'll eat more of it and I'm more likely to hit my goal that way. And that's really important to me, so I will go buy it. If you can create a list of things that work specifically for you, you can basically design your own nutrition plan, and you can always refer back when things maybe aren't going so hot or you want to reset a little bit. Those are my top hacks. Please like and subscribe if you have not already, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.